Under the dazzling lights of Singapore, Formula One's most unforgiving street circuit turned into the stage for McLaren's most uncomfortable drama in years. The 2025 Singapore Grand Prix was supposed to be a statement of power, a race to seal dominance. Instead, it revealed the fragile reality beneath McLaren's bright orange surface. The tension didn't explode overnight. It had been building, quietly, in radio messages, strategy calls, and post-race interviews that hinted at something deeper. A rivalry wrapped in respect, but fueled by quiet resentment. And on lap 1, everything cracked open. As the 5 red lights faded, both McLarens shot forward like missiles. Piastri, on the cleaner side of the grid, expected a fair fight. But Lando Norris, sensing an opportunity, darted aggressively down the inside. For a heartbeat, it looked like they'd both make it. Then, contact, a snap of carbon, a flash of sparks. Norris squeezed through. Piastri backed out to avoid a bigger crash, losing momentum and positions. The moment lasted seconds, but its echo would shape McLaren's entire evening. Norris's radio stayed calm. Piastri's didn't. "Are we cool with that?" came the voice, sharp, composed, but edged with disbelief. The tone wasn't anger. It was the sound of someone realizing that fair play had limits. McLaren's pit wall froze. They knew what that tone meant. Every F1 engineer, strategist, and principal has heard it before. The voice of a driver who no longer trusts his team to protect him. Tom Stallard's response was cautious, almost apologetic. "We're looking into it, Oscar." But as the race settled, the silence lingered. No team orders, no swap, no acknowledgement. To the outside world, this was a racing moment, but to Piastri, it was the latest chapter in a growing story. A pattern of decisions that always seemed to lean one way. At first glance, McLaren seems like the perfect partnership. Lando Norris, the charismatic fan favorite, and Oscar Piastri, the calm, clinical racer. But dig deeper, and the cracks begin to show. In Hungary, Piastri led early, only for strategy to swing toward Norris after pit stops. The explanation was tire management. In Monza, Piastri had the pace to finish second, but team orders told him to hold position, behind Norris. Each incident on its own seemed small, but for a driver as methodical as Piastri, patterns matter. When Singapore happened, it wasn't just frustration, it was confirmation. And that's what made his radio message sting so much. It wasn't about a single move, it was about trust. Within hours, the incident exploded across F1 media. Analysts debated whether Norris had crossed the line or if McLaren had failed to manage their drivers. Sky Sports labeled it a turning point. F1 pundits replayed the start frame by frame, highlighting how Norris had left no room. Journalists asked if McLaren was risking a Hamilton-Rosberg 2016-style implosion. Fans split into camps, Team Lando versus Team Oscar. Some praised Norris's aggression as the mark of a champion. Others saw arrogance, a belief that McLaren belonged to him. Social media only amplified the divide, with hashtags like "Chash on Team Orders" and "Justice for Piastri" trending worldwide. What should have been McLaren's celebration, a dominant season, a Constructors' Championship already secured, turned into a PR nightmare. Formula One isn't just a sport of speed, it's chess at 300 km/h. And inside McLaren, both players now know the other's next move. Piastri, analytical and composed, is unlikely to start a public feud, but in his quiet way, he's sending a message: "I won't be your number 2. Norris, meanwhile, carries the burden of expectation. Years of loyalty to McLaren, but no world title yet. He's fighting not just his teammate, but the ghosts of all the times he came close and fell short. That pressure creates desperation, the kind that turns teammates into enemies. Team principal Andrea Stella now faces his biggest test. His success has been built on transparency and equality. But Singapore shattered that illusion. If McLaren defends Norris publicly, they risk alienating Piastri. If they side with Piastri, they risk breaking Norris' trust. And in Formula One, Once a driver feels betrayed, the cracks never fully heal. Ask Mercedes. Hamilton and Rosberg were once best friends until team orders and small collisions turned their partnership toxic. That feud tore the team's harmony apart, even as they won titles. McLaren, standing at the peak of a dominant era, can't afford the same fate. Behind closed doors, the post-race debrief in Singapore reportedly lasted longer than usual. Engineers avoided eye contact. Team staff chose their words carefully. No fines, no penalties, but tension hung thick in the air. Piastri left early. Norris smiled for the cameras, but his grin didn't reach his eyes. Over the next races, Suzuka, Austin, Mexico, every on-track encounter between them will now carry hidden weight. Every corner, every overtake, every team call will be judged through the lens of Singapore. And if either driver makes a mistake, the headlines will write themselves. In the end, this isn't just about two drivers or a single team. It's about what happens when success exposes human flaws. McLaren's rise has been one of the most inspiring stories in modern F1, from backmarkers to world champions. But history shows that dominance often breeds conflict. Whether it's Senna-Prost at McLaren, Hamilton-Rosberg at Mercedes, or Vettel-Weber at Red Bull, great partnerships rarely survive greatness. Piastri and Norris might be the next chapter in that saga. Teammates turned rivals by ambition, pride, and the relentless hunger to win. As the season heads toward its climax, McLaren faces a question far more complicated than strategy or tire choice. Can two world-class drivers share one dream without destroying it? Because in the end, Formula One isn't just about the fastest car. It's about the balance between ambition and unity. The Singapore Grand Prix will go down as the night McLaren won the Constructors' title, but lost its calm. A night where teammates collided, not just on track, but in trust. And from here on, every race isn't just about points. It's about power. It's about pride. It's about who McLaren truly belongs to.